Whoa, NASCAR.
I'm sorry, I just absolutely love that clip of Bowman saying "woo NASCAR." That was like, I was watching that interview live and I was like, I need that ASAP. I'm going to put that in like every video from now on. But obviously I like that. So I thought it was funny. I don't know why, but it's just pretty funny. But anyways, on to the playoff stuff. This is where the fun begins. So going into Indy is the last race of the regular season. It's a close one. It's a very close one. We'll make the predictions on what I think is going to happen when I do my race preview, or I might do a separate video. I don't know yet, but man, it's gonna be a fun race on Sunday. I can tell you that. But obviously, Eric Jones with his win locks himself in. If you have a win, you are locked into the playoffs, and that is currently 10 guys, and then 4 guys are locked in on points. Larson, Blaney, Byron, Almirola, they're all locked in on points. So that leaves 2 spots left. Clint Boyer, Daniel Suarez currently hold the spots. Boyer's 8 points in. Suarez is in by tiebreaker. That's right, they are tied. Him and Ryan Newman are tied, and then Jimmy Johnson is 18 points out. Everyone else below Jimmy Johnson has to win to get in. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the bubble, obviously, for those last 2 spots. And we're also going to talk about playoff points and the importance of it. Kyle Busch has locked up the regular season championship, so he gets an extra 15 playoff points to add on to his 30, so he will have at least 45 going into the first round of the playoffs. Denny Hamlin currently has 23 playoff points. I don't know his point situation, but he has 23. Truex has 23. Keselowski 19. Logano 17. Harvick 14. Elliott 14. Kurt Busch 8. Alex Bowman 5. Eric Jones 5. Kyle Larson has 4 stage points due to stage wins. Blaney has 2. Byron has 1. Almirola has 1. I don't think Boyer has won any, and I don't think Suarez has won any, but I do know Jimmy Johnson, if he were to get in, he would have 1 from that stage win at Pocono. But when it comes to the top of the board, Kyle Busch is going to have the most playoff points going into the playoffs. Just those 15 points from the regular season title is going to be such a boost. Even if like Denny Hamlin got all 7 playoff points next week, it wouldn't do anything. But going into Indy, Indy's an interesting track. It's a unique track. Last year we saw it kind of weird, where we saw some different stage winners. We actually saw 2 of the guys on the bubble. Well, 2 of the cars on the bubble last year won the stages. Clint Boyer won a stage, and then Matt Kenseth and the 6 car won a stage. So I'm just going to say that right now. We'll go more into that next week. But obviously the guys like Larson had a good day. Blaney had a good enough day. Byron had an ed day, and Almirola just had an ed day. But it was enough to get them into the playoffs. So they are no longer in the bubble. They were well ahead, so they were never really in the bubble at the last couple weeks, but they are now officially locked into the playoffs. Whereas Boyer is only 8 points above, Suarez and Newman are tied, and then Jimmy Johnson 18 below. Those are the 4 we're going to focus on. So Clinton Boyer, he's 8 points above. He doesn't have any enemies, and if he can do what he did last year at Indy, I don't remember where he finished, but if he can win a stage, get some stage points, that'll be huge. He could build that buffer a little bit. So if he did have a bad finish, maybe like a 20th or something, if he had those stage points, that would help out tremendously. Now, this is assuming there's not a new winner outside of these 4 guys. So there's a repeat winner or someone like Larson, Blaney, Byron, or Almirola wins. Suarez's situation, he has made an enemy, Ryan Newman. So I don't know if Newman's going to retaliate. He made it sound like he did, but Ryan Newman is really not in the spot because he has made a few people mad the last 2 weeks. DeBenedetto at Bristol. This past week, he hit Corey LaJoie. Corey LaJoie cut a tire and spun out. I don't know what Corey LaJoie said. I'm sure he's not happy. And then, obviously, Daniel Suarez, if he does something to Suarez, I'm sure Suarez would not be thrilled. Who else did he do? Oh, yeah, he hit Daniel Hemrick. Daniel Hemrick cut a tire. Ryan Newman not making a lot of friends out there, especially with the position he's in. It'll be interesting to see how he does next week at Indy. He does have a win at Indianapolis in his career, but I'm interested to see next week what happens if anyone does try to get back at Newman, or if Newman tries to get back at Suarez, because that would be major playoff implications, obviously, with Newman and Suarez being tied at that bubble spot. Then Johnson, he's really far out. He's going to have a really good day. He's going to have to do what he did this week. He's going to have to get second in the stage, fifth in the stage, whatever. and he's going to have to finish up there. He can't get bad luck and finish 15th because that will not do. He's going to have to get a top 5, top 10, whatever it does, depending on the other guys. Now, let's say Daniel Suarez and Ryan Newman take themselves out. That probably put Jimmy Johnson in. All right, so Jimmy Johnson is probably hoping that Daniel Suarez and Ryan Newman screw around enough that they take each other out, and he doesn't really have to worry about finishing like a top 5, top 10. I mean, obviously he wants to, but just in case something else does happen. And then Boyer just has to avoid issues. He does have an 8-point gap. That's not a big gap. I mean, Ryan Newman could get a stage win, and he's suddenly ahead of Boyer. So it'll be fun to watch. We'll go into more detail next week, but that's all I got. That's your update on the current point standings. 19th through 30th have to win. Top 14 are already filled. There's 2 spots available on points. Only 2 of them can get it. 4 guys are battling for it. I'll give my predictions at the end of the week in the race preview. You can go watch that. This week's schedule and next week's schedule I will give out later this week once I figure it out. But I do have an idea, so I will announce that then. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, leave a big fat like. If you like NASCAR, leave a big fat like. If you want to subscribe, you definitely should. You should subscribe. Yes, you should. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.